Do you ever feel like women keep disrespecting you, but instead of saying something about it, you let it slide because you don't want to appear toxic, you don't want to be a bad man? A lot of men, including my clients who are fucking successful, who work in finance, are executives, or run their own businesses, have been conditioned to believe that sucking it up and not speaking their mind makes them a great partner, a great man. But all it does is make them hate themselves while women pull away. So in today's video, I'll show you the 5 toxic behaviors that a self-respecting man, aka Hercules, never tolerates and what he does instead. So the first one, and I'm pretty sure you've experienced this already, is when a woman starts micromanaging you, when she starts treating you like a little child, almost like your mom treated you. I'm working currently with a client of mine who manages literally $1 billion deals like every month in banking, right? Who does not take any shit at work. But you know what? When he's with a woman, a woman that he loves, he turns into a fucking total Kevin, a shadow of himself. He loses himself. His girlfriend tells him how to dress, how to load the dishwasher, how to book the restaurant, and he fucking hates it. He literally said on one of our Zoom calls, like, man, I'm fucking 41. I'm hyper successful. Why the hell does she treat me like a little boy? Now, the beautiful thing about women is they are your mirror. And here's what I told him. Her behavior is a direct reflection of the quality of your self-respect. And because you've been conditioned to place her opinion and her happiness above your own self-respect, she treats you the way she does. Because you don't say anything. You do not verbalize your boundaries. And for as long as she doesn't fucking know that there is actually a boundary, she will keep walking over those boundaries. Because she doesn't know the fucking boundary exists in the first place. So you need to start setting a boundary. And I know this sounds scary, man, because you associate setting boundaries with her leaving you. Because she's going to be upset. And you associate again that when she's upset, she's going to leave you. But actually, it's the total opposite, bro. Boundaries are sexy because it creates an aura of strength. And women desire men of strength. Because strength means respect. But lack of boundaries conveys weakness, and weakness triggers only sympathy. And I'm yet to find a woman who wants to be with a man that she is like sympathizing with or out of sympathy. Do you want to be with women that are with you because of sympathy or maybe just because of money? No, fuck that. So how do you prevent it? You learn how to set boundaries in a Hercules way. So for example, when she says, hey, can you load this dishwasher this way, please? And you can literally respond calmly, I appreciate you, but I'm going to do it my way. If you dislike it, then we can do it your way. But guess what? You're going to be the person doing it. You say it with a smirk to soften the delivery, basically. And man, if she loses her temper, like in that moment, like, yeah, trust yourself that you'll be okay, man. That you'll be able to manage the situation. What's the worst that can happen? She leaves. I mean, if a woman leaves you because of a dishwasher, she didn't leave because of the dishwasher in the first place. But also, why would you want to be with a woman who leaves you or threatens to leave you because of a fucking dishwasher? Again, toxic behavior. Why would you want to be with a woman that displays toxic behavior? It doesn't make any sense. Now that leads me to the next behavior that Hercules would not tolerate, which is when she constantly questions your decision. So one of my clients, he turned into a total Kevin the moment he loved a woman. Every single time. Didn't matter which woman it was, right? So for example, every time he suggested like a restaurant or like planned dates, his girlfriends at the time would say like, but why are we going here? You know I don't like this place. Choose something else. And of course, guess what he did? He chose a different place. He asked her, okay, where do you want to go? What about this place? What about sushi? What about pizza? What about burger? Guess what she responded with? No, 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 I don't like this place either. And there's fundamentally a direct correlation between how unsure you are about yourself and your choices and her emotional volatility. So why is that? Because when a woman is capable of changing your opinion and your views just by saying she doesn't like it, guess what it signals her? It signals her that you lack a spine, that you don't have self-leadership, and that you don't fucking know what you're doing. That you don't know how to behave like an adult, like a competent man. That you act like an incompetent Kevin. And guess what? A woman cannot be attracted to an incompetent Kevin. So when a woman starts questioning your decisions, it's basically because she noticed that you stopped behaving like a Hercules who was the leader of the relationship, the CEO. And every time she questions your decisions, it's basically also an opportunity she presents to you, man, to man the fuck up, to stop being a Kevin, put your foot on the gas and say, on the pedal, whatever you fucking say, and say, you know what, I understand that you might not like this place, but every time I choose a place, you tell me it's not good enough. And then you lose your shit. So it seems like to me, it's not really about the restaurant. So why don't you tell me what it's really about? If not, then we're going to go to this place. And if you don't want to go, totally fine, then we're going to go by myself. And 99% of the time, man, she'll stop yapping, she'll stop complaining, and either she will share what's actually going on or she'll like agree to go with you. Women sometimes create this resistance because they want to feel you again. Those tests, this drama is her way of finally connecting to you again. Because most likely you've been disconnected for too long, but it's a different point. Now, next point that I want to talk about is that when she raises her voice during arguments. Like when a woman raises her voice during arguments, it's basically for one of two reasons. Either she doesn't feel heard, right? So she speaks up for you to finally like see and hear her, or she views you as lower status. If she views you as lower status, this means she doesn't respect you. Because ask yourself, the way she talks to you, would she ever talk to her boss like that? No, because he dictates a more respectful frame. So how do you get her to respect you again? Simple. Here's the Hercules sexy way to get her to respect you. First of all, you need to establish the ground rule that shouting, yelling at your partner, aka you, is not okay. And here's how you set that boundary. You can literally say, hey, Bambi, her nickname, you seem very upset. I get that, right? I feel you. And I really want to help you, but for that, I want you to stop raising your voice, because otherwise I can't help you. So if you can't do that, it's totally okay. I'm going to give you the time to process whatever you're feeling, and I'll come back once you've processed this so we can then have a conversation. So why is this so powerful? Because there are fundamentally 5 components to verbalizing a Hercules boundary, an assertive, sexy boundary: acknowledgement, labeling, empathy, condition, and transparent communication. When you dissect the boundary that I just said, right, that I just shared with you, you notice that I cover all 5 of those. First, I start with acknowledging her by saying that I feel you, I get you, I understand you. That makes her feel seen and gets her very likely to calm down. Then I label her emotions by saying, hey, you seem upset. Again, makes her feel seen and brings her guard down. All of this is stuff that I learned when I was a leader in at the tech startup, by the way, and also in finance. Like the FBI even teaches this. You might be wondering if I'm pleasing her, right? But fundamentally, I'm not pleasing her. I want her to think rationally again. Because if her guard isn't down, right, no matter what I say, she won't fucking hear it. Her amygdala is so on edge, her nervous system is so on edge that she can't think clearly anymore. She won't give a fuck. So that's why I'm not basically pleasing her. I'm persuading her. I'm using the art of charismatic communication to get my way, basically. That's what 99% of men cannot do. They behave like Kevins in a relationship, and that's why they keep losing women. So if you want to stop fucking losing women that you love or find attractive, you need to learn how to charismatically communicate. And then on top of that, I display empathy by saying like, I really want us to work through this, or we want to help you. Again, makes her feel seen. Then I set my condition basically, and also my expectation by saying like, hey, like we can have this conversation once you do XYZ, aka calm down. And also I use the carrot principle, aka I'll give an incentive for her to do this or change her behavior. If you do X, calm down, we can do Y. Y meaning we can have a conversation, because she wants to have the conversation. Otherwise she wouldn't be like snapping at you. Communicating with you, whether snapping at you or whatever form of communication, is a request or is a bid for connection in women's mind, because women like vent to bond. So she wants really to connect with you. But if you link that connection to the condition of her like calming down, give an incentive to calm down. Then on top of that, transparent communication is by saying like, for example, if she's anxiously attached, meaning she freaks out when you would leave her, the thought of leaving you like makes her go wild. We reduce that anxiety in her by saying, hey, I will return once you do XYZ. It signals to her, oh, okay, this guy will not leave me. He will not abandon me. All of this is a masterclass of smart, attractive communication, by the way. By the way, man, if you want to become more charismatic, if you want to stop tolerating disrespect, I'd love to help you like stop this Kevin behavior and turn you into your Hercules with my mentorship or in my men's group. Instead of sabotaging more fucking relationships and wasting more time, why don't you fucking click the link in the description below, apply to work with me. I'll see you on the call. So the next point is weaponizing tears to get you to apologize even though you didn't do anything fucking wrong. So every woman I've been with has tried to use this technique to sort of guilt trip me. Now, there are legitimate reasons for crying. I'm obviously not denying that, right? And I'm not saying that you should invalidate her feelings, right? But her reaction to your boundary or to your behavior does not determine the rightness or the wrongness of your boundary or your action or your behavior. It took me a decade to fucking fully grasp this as an ex-nice guy. So for example, with my ex Kathy, she always started crying when I want to spend time with my finance bros back in the days, right? With my friends after work and like go to the pub. And she starts saying things like, oh, you never make time for me. Do you even love me? What is this relationship good for? So when Kathy said these things, of course it was annoying, but I also understood that her feelings might be valid. Yeah? Like there's nothing, like she has every right to feel a specific way. Whether or not those feelings are true, different question. I knew at that time already that I did everything I needed to do or was supposed to do to be a great partner. I planned date nights and whatnot. We spent a lot of time together. So for me, I knew that her feelings there, they were valid, but they were not true or were not based on a reality, because we were already spending a lot of time together. That means she was either anxiously attached, she was jealous, or something else was going on. However, what I needed to do in that moment was to protect my integrity, which was reminding her that we agreed on the fact that I am going to spend time with my friends every week. Now, how did I get her to realize that? Well, I simply stated and verbalized my boundary. I said, hey, Kathy, it seems you're frustrated, you seem upset. I totally get that. But we agreed to the fact that I'm going to spend time every Thursday. I'm going to meet my boys. I'm going to be back later in a couple of hours. We can talk about it then, or we can talk about it tomorrow. But for now, I would appreciate if you respect my boundary and let me have some peace and fun with my guys. And guess what happened? After me simply saying this immediately made her stop crying. Why? Because she realized that she was overreacting and that I am firmly in my frame. But I also communicated that I see her and that I feel her. So the combination of displaying empathy and compassion while also remaining in my firm masculine frame made her like realize, okay, you know what? This behavior that I'm displaying is not a constructive behavior for the relationship, so I'm going to stop doing it. Which she stopped doing, by the way. She stopped using tears and guilt tripping to get me to do a certain behavior. Now that leads me to the final behavior that a man of self-respect, a Hercules, does not tolerate, which is public disrespect, such as calling you names, interrupting you publicly, like when you say something, or making fun of you, or being passive aggressive. Like, let me give you a couple of examples. Like, for example, once I went on a date with a Spanish girl, right, who every time I teased her, she hit me here on the arm. And it was actually a bit painful. So first time I smiled at her and said, hey, don't do this again. You know, I know you're like very touchy, but I just dislike this part, you know. And then I teased her, and guess what she fucking did? 5 minutes later, she did it again. She hit me again. Now, Kevin would not say anything. Kevin would have never said anything in the first place. But if I would have then turned into Kevin and wouldn't have said anything, guess what would have happened? She would have lost all respect, because I set a boundary which she disrespected, and then she disrespected the boundary again, and I didn't say anything. I rolled over my own fucking principles. That's unattractive as fuck. So guess what I did? With a firm, calm voice, I said, hey, if you do this again, I'm leaving. And guess what? Turned her on. How do I know? After she was lying naked next to me, she said like, hey, you know what you did earlier? This really turned me on. Because I rarely meet a guy who actually can put me in my place when I... And then there was this other girl I went on a date with, and she was exactly my type. You know, like blonde, blue eyes, fit, really sexy and really attractive. And the issue that a lot of guys actually have when they're with a woman that is exactly their type, that's when they start acting like a Kevin. That's when they start tolerating things they usually wouldn't tolerate from other women. So I used to be the same, right? But not with this girl anymore, because I had stopped being a Kevin. So in the first 10 minutes of the date, she fundamentally asked me, hey, where are you from? And I said, well, take a guess. Playful way of answering a question, a boring question on the date. Guess what she did? She's like, oh, are you playing games? Are you hiding anything? What are you on about? And I asked myself, like, bro, like, if I do not set a boundary immediately, I'm going to get steamrolled in the future, if there's ever going to be a future. So guess what I did? I obviously told her that I disliked the way she like talked to me in that moment, but in a like confident but still charismatic way. So what I said was, hey, you're exactly my type. You're extremely sexy. But if you have a problem with me being playful, then there's no point in continuing this date, because I'm a very playful character. And if you just like a playful man for whatever reason, it's not going to work out. Then, so I don't want to waste time here. Guess what she said? Guess what she said? She was like, okay, yeah. Why are you so serious now? Of course, yeah. I've been with so many women, man. Like, I know exactly when a woman is insecure. And in that moment, I knew that she was insecure for whatever, because of past experiences that she projected onto me, which is totally fine. But I just wanted to make it crystal clear in that moment that this doesn't fly with me. And we actually started dating for a couple of months. And she said, like, you are one of the few guys who actually managed to make me feel safe and empower me to be feminine. I always had an issue with like trusting men, because I had issues with my dad. So I didn't really trust masculine men. But you proved to me that it is actually possible. So I thank you for that. By the way, man, if you actually want to know how to build an amazing relationship, you should watch this video next. Stop being a Kevin, become Hercules. Ciao, ciao.